Struggling with end-of-life decisions for a loved one, the half-sanded table tells Marcus's story as he grapples with his father's final wishes. Discover how a simple, unfinished woodworking project guides him to find peace and clarity in the face of agonizing choices. Learn how to honor a life lived fully, even as it comes to a close. Marcus sat in the sterile hospital room, the weight of the thin paper in his hands mirroring the heaviness in his heart. His father's final wishes felt more like a burden than a guide, each word a painful echo in the silent room. The decision loomed, a dark cloud casting shadows on his soul. No extraordinary measures. The words mocked him from the page, blurring through the film of unshed tears in his eyes. What was extraordinary? Each breath his father took felt like a tug of war between hope and acceptance. The doctor's gentle voice was a distant hum, urging him to decide, yet every choice felt like a betrayal. Could he bear the weight of ending his father's life, or prolonging his suffering? The questions echoed endlessly in his mind. His father had always been a man of action, a builder, a creator. Leaving things unfinished was not in his nature, yet here they were, suspended in the agonizing space between living and dying. Desperate, Marcus fled the sterile confines of the hospital, seeking solace in the familiar embrace of his father's home, now eerily silent and echoing with memories. The garage door groaned open, releasing the scent of sawdust and oil, a fragrance that carried the weight of countless shared hours and unspoken bonds. His gaze fell upon it, the half-sanded table, a silent testament to his father's unfinished project. A single piece of sandpaper lay discarded on its surface, a pause in time. The table was a reflection of his father's abhorrence for limbo, for the agonizing wait between action and completion. He loathed suspended animation. His father wouldn't want to be tethered to machines, trapped between worlds. That wasn't mercy, it was a distortion of the life he had so deliberately lived. A quiet certainty bloomed within him. He was not making a medical decision. He was honoring a life of clarity, of decisive action, of finishing what was started. The paralyzing anxiety began to unravel, replaced by a profound understanding. He saw his father, not the patient, but the man who had shaped that table with firm hands and clear intent. Grief was still present, a raw ache, but the crushing weight had lifted, replaced by a gentle resolve. He knew what needed to be done. Marcus returned to the hospital, his steps firm, his resolve unwavering. He carried his father's spirit within him, a legacy of courage and clarity. Facing the doctor, Marcus spoke not from fear, but from knowing. He spoke for his father, the man who abhorred dawdling, who finished every chapter with decisive action. "It's time to let go," he said, his voice steady despite the tremor in his heart. "It's time to finish what he started, even if that chapter comes sooner than we wished." In that hospital room, the burden lifted, making space for a fragile peace. The decision was made, not lightly, but with deep respect. The machines fell silent. The room filled with a quiet hum that replaced the sterile beeping. Marcus held his father's hand, his presence a comforting balm. Memories flooded his mind. The sound of his father's laughter, the warmth of his embrace, the wisdom etched in his eyes. He remembered the lessons learned in the workshop, the values instilled through patient guidance and quiet example. His father's spirit lived on, not in machines and tubes, but in the love and legacy he had left behind. In the days that followed, Marcus returned to the workshop. The half-sanded table awaited him, a quiet invitation. He picked up the discarded sandpaper, the grit rough against his fingertips, a tangible link to his father. With slow, deliberate movements, he began to sand the table, each stroke a meditation, a tribute, a connection. As the wood grew smoother, so too did his heart. The anxiety faded, replaced by a sense of purpose. He realized that finishing the table was not just about completing a project. It was about honoring his father's spirit, his values, his love of creation. He worked with care, with precision, with love. Each stroke was a conversation, a shared moment, a silent goodbye. Finally, the table was finished. Smooth, polished, perfect. A testament to love and legacy. Marcus placed the table in the kitchen, a place where memories would gather, where laughter would echo, where love would reside. He understood that sometimes the bravest choice is to cease the waiting, to honor what it means to live fully, truly, and finally. The half-sanded table was no longer a reminder of unfinished business, but a symbol of love, courage, and the acceptance of life's inevitable end.